Hello and welcome. I'm Swati Joshi and you're watching our special broadcast. I'm joining you live from Bharat Mandapam, where the AI Impact Summit 2026 is currently underway. The first of the Global South. 500 global leaders are coming to the national capital to take part in this mega gathering on artificial intelligence. Remember, the Prime Minister inaugurated the event officially yesterday. He also took stock of the situation. We saw him visiting various units that have the AI tech on display. This entire place is buzzing. Global participation is being witnessed, which is unprecedented. From tech innovators to tech enthusiasts, the who's who of the industry, you will meet them here at Bharat Mandapam. Now, before we get to influential voices here and what it means, what are they looking forward to as far as the AI summit is concerned, here's a ground report filed by my colleague Kritika.
India AI Summit 2026 has now commenced. This 5-day flagship event is boasting to be one of the largest AI summit in the world, and in fact the first from the Global South. All around me you'll be able to see thousands of exhibitors who've come in here to showcase how India is leading, in fact, the conversation of AI when it comes to the global stage. Around us, multiple solutions on the screens. First is a legal aid AI solution. Right next to is Meta. On the other hand, we're also seeing sovereign AI models that are developed through Indian literature to describe and in fact tackle Indian problems. All around us, in fact, there is AI in health, in education, in social sector as well. And the entire core of this theme for India AI Impact Summit remains around Sarjan Hitai, Sarjan Sukhai, which means welfare for all and happiness of all. So how to put planet, people and progress together in a comprehensive way in order to use artificial intelligence is going to be the core of the conversations that take place here at Bharat Mandapam in the national capital over the course of the next 5 days.
So the entire world has been brought under one roof through this event to discuss the future of AI. Earlier we saw Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw meeting enthusiastic youths, the participants here at Bharat Mandapam, and this is what he had to say. Let's listen in.
Solutions दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको?
It's quite positive.
Super, it's a good.
Yes.
कैसा लग रहा है? एनर्जी ठीक है? नए solutions दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको?
It's quite positive.
Super, it's a good. Super, very good.
Can we invite you to the
बंगला भी चाहिए? असुविधा किसी नहीं तो? ठीक ठाक सब कुछ? हाँ, जीवा से समस्त उड़ीसा लो?
नहीं सर, हम इंदौर से।
इंदौर से आए हो? ठीक है सारी व्यवस्था? कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं हुई? क्या दिक्कत है यार? Can I see one selfie? This is world's biggest AI Impact Summit, and the way it has created the huge energy which is visible here, the interest which the VC community is showing in our Indian deep techs, the interest which the infra players are showing in the infra layer, that's phenomenal. Over the next 2 years, we can expect about $200 billion worth investment coming into our country. So far, I know about $10 billion funding from VCs is clearly committed towards Indian deep tech startups. The digital public infrastructure framework and the technology adoption which our Honorable Prime Minister has created over the last decade, that has created a framework where population scale problems can be solved using AI, and that is the huge enthusiasm and energy that you can see in this summit. The Global South is now taking leadership in AI, and very nicely you have put it that Global South and Global North are converging because the world today recognizes our capabilities, India's capabilities, and the framework which our Prime Minister has created. The world recognizes that, and it's in that recognition that so many heads of states and more than 100 leaders from the industry are visiting.
Before I let you go, have we been a bit late with the AI journey?
Absolutely not. Our sovereign models, if you see them today, they are comparable to some of the best on so many different parameters. With very frugal resources, our teams have been able to create such solutions.
There are over 300 exhibitors here at the AI Impact Summit, giving us a sneak peek into the future of AI, showcasing the possibilities with artificial intelligence. For example, EY has unveiled a game-changing solution when it comes to industrial safety as well as disaster response. Their AI-powered robot can actually detect. It's capable of detecting gas leaks and also saving lives during landslides. In case you're wondering how, listen into this conversation.
This use case is all about how we combine digital twins, robotics and physical AI to help people who are actually working in hazardous environments. Now, there are cases where people have to go through narrow spaces to take readings. There might be cases people are going into a place where there is a hazardous gas leak and people can have health issues. So what we are looking at is how you use robot as a companion for human beings to do difficult jobs. Here what is happening is the operator who is operating this robot is sitting in a remote location and it is going in and taking out data. And that data is sent to AI and we are generating insights on top of that. It will really reduce the risk of people going into hazardous environments.
Can these robots be used if there is a landslide? People are trapped over there.
Yes, there are definitely newer technologies coming in. For example, with the advancements of physical AI, with the help of world foundation models, where we can train different scenarios. We are getting into that era where we can use robots to do that kind of activities.
My colleagues Rishabh and Kritika are joining us on the broadcast. Before I go to them, since we are talking about EY, here with me I have Mr. Hari Balaji, Partner Technology Consulting. We just played a report about the AI-powered robots of EY, giving us a game-changing solution when it comes to industrial safety and landslides. We're looking at a big revolution, something that's going to revolutionize our lives. How are you looking at this AI Impact Summit?
No, thank you. So I think in the years that come, we will look back upon this AI Impact Summit as the moment when AI became mainstream in India, right? The response we've seen is overwhelming. We've seen people from the industry, we've seen people from students come and talk to us. And I think the response that we've seen for our quadruped robot has been absolutely overwhelming. And what it tells me personally is that, we see AI on screens, we see it on computer screens, we see demos, we see, people interacting with ChatGPT. But when AI suddenly gets real in the physical world, and there's so much of that yet to come, that's when people really start to touch and feel what this is about. And the impact becomes real for them in their day-to-day lives. And the response we've seen for our quadruped robot, which you've covered, I think has been fantastic. And I think there's so much more to come in that space. Overall, I think it's been a great event for us. The turnout's been fantastic. And we're looking forward to the remaining 3 days.
So how can enterprises fully unlock the potential of AI?
So I think enterprises have just started asking the right questions, right? If you look at sort of our journey and our evolution with respect to AI, I think we spent the first year and a half just figuring out what AI is all about and then spending time doing POCs and demos and use cases. But today, if I look at the average enterprise which has landed up in my booth, they're asking us about skilling. They're asking us about how do they get their employees to start thinking AI first. That's the right question. That's how AI transformation happens. And I think we're now starting to ask the right questions. I think we are correctly positioned in terms of talent, and the government is definitely leading the way in terms of investment, right? The only thing I would say which we should learn to be is far more patient about AI, because I think I see this sort of impatience across all corporate leaders that we are sort of in the third year of our journey and, we want ROI and everything that we do. But I think that's still going to take some time to come. It's still an evolving technology. We're still in sort of the very early days of what AI can unlock for us. So I think we are evolving very quickly and I think we are pointed in the right direction now. I'm really excited as the COE leader for EY India to be able to look at, what's going to come in the next couple of years. Before
I go across to our reporters very quickly, are there also concerns and fears coming your way, questions on, the future?
Definitely. So I think the one part of AI, which I think a lot of people are finding difficult to digest, is that it is probabilistic at the end of the day. You're never going to get 100% accurate results. And therefore, that requires a careful layer of governance, safety, checks to be put in place. The other fear definitely is everything in the area of cybersecurity and risk. Right, which has to do with the fact that AI suddenly is allowing you to exploit things in a way that was not possible before. And are we ready for that? I think that's the other question that's being asked. But definitely, I think, as EY, we've been on the forefront of risk and consulting on these matters. So I think we're also picking up now the AI mandate around that. And I think it's going to be an interesting journey. Nothing great has ever been achieved without taking risks. I'm sure AI is no different. And yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting couple of years for India Inc. with AI.
All right. Do stay on with us. I just want to quickly go across to our reporters. Kritika, I believe you're joined by someone.
Yes, Swati, we're here at the Convergence Arena at Bharat Mandapam as well. All around you can see how packed it is. We have enthusiasts, we have exhibitors and we have visitors all across here trying to understand the different AI solutions being offered as well as the solutions that are now making the center of the conversation of not just technological advancement but how it can in an equitable way make life easier not just for individuals but also for businesses. And on the very same, currently we are being joined by the CTO of Blue Machines AI, which is a voice AI platform. And we'll straight away toss away to Abhishek Ranjan, who is the CTO. Sir, explain to us how old your organization is and what do you bring to the fore as far as other business organizations are also concerned?
So Blue Machines is part of Apna Group. Apna has been there for about 6 years, and we have been one of India's fastest unicorns. Blue Machines was born out of Apna. We have come out of stealth about 6 months ago, and since then we have today we are doing over 1 million minutes of conversations every day. What we bring to the table is enterprise voice AI. Today there are many voice AI companies everywhere. I mean, even in this event you'll find many. Where we make the difference is it's very easy to create a voice AI or a voice AI bot. Anybody can create it in maybe an hour or 2 hours using the tools that are available. But how do you make it good and great for enterprise? How do you take it from that P80 level that you're at to P99 or P100? How do you make it work all the time? How do you follow all the guardrails? How do you be explainable? How are you protecting the data? How are everything that is working on your platform is explainable for the enterprises, and it works according to the guardrails of the enterprise. So I think that is what we bring to the table.
One concern that comes with voice AI models often is that how it takes away the human touch. How do you make sure that Blue Machines rises above that and meets this loophole?
So one of the things that we do very well with our voice AI agents is it's very human-like. I mean, when you're having a conversation, it's very intelligent. It understands your brand. It understands when you're pausing, the emotions that you're expressing. So it understands all that. The way it is meant to work is in conjunction with the human. So the way we have built the platform is that it works with human along with AI. So at some point of time, if the AI feels that maybe the person wants to talk to a human, it'll be able to transfer the call to the human in real time. It'll be able to connect you with a human, still stay on the call. So these are things that we do very well. So we are not here to replace any humans. We are here to augment it. It works with humans, makes it better, and the person talking to the AI also gets their problem solved.
Right. So not to replace humans, but to in fact work in conjunction is the goal of this particular voice AI model being showcased here. Over to you, Swati.
Well, that definitely will allay a lot of fears. Kritika, thank you for getting us that reaction. Let me go across to Rishabh. Rishabh, global participation, unprecedented global participation is what we are witnessing, not just in terms of tech innovators and tech enthusiasts, but global leaders as well. 500 global leaders are coming to the national capital to take part in this mega event.
Well, Swati, if we talk about this very event, we are here and I asked my camera person Manoj to give you a 360-degree view of how enthusiastic people are. See, these are not exhibitors, these are not media, these are not people who are speaking at the session. These are the people who are attending the sessions, who are actually walking in the, inside the arenas to see various, various exhibitions. And this showcases that how, interested people here are in the AI summit. It is a convergence, and this is something that we have been talking to a lot of experts. So this is a convergence of global south with global north. For the first time, AI summit is taking place in global south, and leaders from France, leaders from various European countries, Latin American countries, North American countries, Africa, Asia, Australia, all the continent representatives are here at Bharat Mandapam. When it comes to state heads, there are 22 heads of state or heads of government who are going to be at the Leaders Summit. There are 45 ministerial delegations which are coming in. There are at least 30 other countries who are representing at certain level. If we talk about diplomacy, the AI diplomacy, that is the new thing that we keep talking about. This is one of, a kind. For the first time, a global South country is hosting AI Summit. In a way, it's a last mile connectivity that we are talking about. And that is something that India, is working upon as well.
And something that helps India strengthen its position as an AI superpower. Rishabh, do stay on with us since we're talking about possibilities. Let's take a look at this interesting report filed by Kritika on the solutions that AI is offering in the health sector.
At the India AI Impact Summit 2026, we're seeing, in fact, innovations in the field of artificial intelligence cutting across segments. Remember, this theme for this year's Impact Summit is Sarjan Sukhay, Sarjan Hitai, welfare for all and happiness of all. And one key element of that remains the health segment. On your screen, you can see, in fact, a live demonstration of how AI embedded abdominal scans can work and transform the field of health care infrastructure in our country. And joining us right now is Wipro Intelligence Chief Technical Officer, Miss Sandhya Arun. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. Please talk us through about what are we seeing here. We see multiple hooks, in fact, here, a robotic arm, perhaps.
That's right. So at Wipro, we have the Wipro Intelligence, which includes all of our platform solutions and innovations around AI. What you're seeing here is an embodied AI example where AI is embodied inside a robotic arm.
I see.
So the robotic arm can independently scan the abdomen with the help of a technician just to ensure there is a human touch. And what you're seeing on the screen here is how AI uses that scan to identify any issues that the patient may have, and then also diagnose and recommend a course of action based on
all of that. So it is the scanning, the diagnosis, as well as
recommendations that AI can do.
This currently, the robotic arm is not just a feat of engineering, but remember, it has AI built in. And that is how it is able to, in fact, give the patients as well as the doctors real-time information on the status of the patient. With video journalist Mohan, this is Kritika Tiwari for Times Now.
Well, earlier during the event, we also saw MOS Health and Family Welfare Anupriya Patel talk about AI. She said in India, AI should be viewed as all-inclusive intelligence. And her take is that AI should augment, not replace doctors. Listen in.
AI can only support the doctors. It can only reduce the burden of their routine or volume-based tasks, but it can never really take their place. And what is required today, since technology integration has become the need of the hour, and AI is also not an option. It is being incorporated more and more into our healthcare systems. So what we need today is that our medical fraternity, our clinicians, specialists or non-specialists, they need to be AI literate. All I urge is doctors to leave behind these fears that AI could ever replace them, and help us to attain the goal of inclusivity and health equity.
We also have a reaction coming in from the former Niti Aayog CEO, Mr. Amitabh Kant, who says there's nothing to fear. AI is providing opportunities and Indians should be ready for higher quality jobs, and AI will help us in doing those jobs and earning more money.
What really demonstrates is that there's massive interest amongst young people in this very powerful technology which will change fundamentally the way we live. Talent, skill, computing power are all very important. It's also very important that we drive this technology with renewable energy. We drive it in a manner where we can ensure that it's for the good of the humanity as we move forward. And therefore affordability, accountability, and making it multilingual and ensuring that it's accessible to every single Indian is important. It's very, very important that we use this talent, our own data and our own computing power to build very Indian-specific large language models.
And since we're talking about the issue of job creation here, AI-enabled higher quality jobs, to talk more about it, I have Mr. Sambhav Jain joining us here, Managing Director and Partner, BCG. When you have a superficial conversation about AI, the first fear that comes to mind, and that's the first conversation that people have, is the fear of AI. that we'll lose jobs because AI will replace people. Is there any truth to that, or should we actually widen the conversation, think about the positive opportunities?
I think absolutely. I think when we look at all the headlines on the, and different media coverage, I think there's a lot more coverage and highlights given to how AI will disrupt jobs. I think that's a very simple truth, but it has a lot of nuances, right? Yes, AI will impact jobs. It is already, for example, if you take the technology sector, yes, it is already impacting some of the jobs that we see, and there are claims of productivity of, let's say, 15 to 20% that's coming up. But our recent report actually evaluated AI is also actually leading to a whole new universe of jobs, which does not get, talked often about. And when we looked at what's happening in the technology sector, for example, there are 3 new kind of jobs that AI is leading to. One is just enterprise AI, which is all about AI product managers, AI ops engineers. The second is frontier AI, which is, at the leading tech of AI across cybersecurity, AI across quantum, and so forth. And then the third category is AI for AI, the leading researchers who will actually advance the state of AI, who will lead to the next agentic architectures and so forth. And all of these job roles are very dissimilar. So it's not one kind of millions of jobs that's getting created. It's actually very different kind of jobs, all, let's say, in smaller numbers, but growing really, really fast. And so I think we have not looked and talked about these enough. And so there's a lot of opportunity. I think for me, the question is not, will AI take away jobs in together? I think the question is, how will India get its fair share out of the jobs that AI will end up creating? So
what's your one advice to people who are looking forward to this summit? What's the takeaway for them, the youth especially?
I think keep an open mind. Come up with the mindset to explore what is out there in the world, what's the leading edge of AI and how it's getting applied to different sectors. And then think about your own life and the sector you're involved in. How will you upskill yourself to make sure you're AI ready in the sector that you work in? If you can just do that, I think you would have had a successful summit, right?
So you're saying it's time to upgrade. It's time to upgrade. Absolutely. Don't fear. Just be open to new opportunities. What is your view on? Because this is what we've been hearing. This is what the Prime Minister said. The ministers, union ministers, that in India AI should be viewed as all inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think see, in an economy like India, the way to get the fruits of AI as a technology for us is if it is all inclusive. If the benefits and boons of AI gets limited to the 1% or the 5%, then we would have failed as a society, as a country. And I think there are a lot of these initiatives that now Niti Aayog, that our PMO is actually undergoing, which is to say, how does AI apply itself in the common man's life? How does it apply to agriculture, to the farmers? How does it apply, let's say, to doctors and nurses? And how does it apply to, to youth? How does it apply to women? So there are a lot of these initiatives and think tanks that are coming through or thinking through this to make sure it is more inclusive.
All right, Mr. Jain, thank you very much for speaking with us. Let's take a look at another interesting conversation that my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary had with the UN envoy.
It's a big moment for India. India is hosting the first AI summit in the developing world. It's a big moment for the UN because we are now moving from principles to action. Action on science. You mentioned the International Independent Scientific Panel of 40 experts from all across the globe coming together to provide regular assessments of what's the pace and direction of this technology, what are its implications, the opportunities and the risks. So all of us, every country, every community can be informed and can take decisions on the basis of evidence. Likewise, we've decided to set up a regular global dialogue on the governance of AI at the United Nations. All 193 countries will have a seat at the table. They'll be able to share best practices, lessons learned with each other, and ground the regulation, the governance of AI in our shared norms, including the UN Charter. And the third pillar of the progress and part of the excitement is the effort on AI capacity building. There is an AI divide. We need to address that urgently through investments. And the Secretary General has proposed a global fund on AI of $3 billion for urgent investments in the 80-90 countries that are most at risk of getting left behind.
Let's now take a look at the reactions coming in from the ambassadors and ministers from across the globe on India hosting this AI Impact Summit and the future of AI.
Well, I think it's a great success for the Indian government to be able to hold this important conference on a subject that everybody is talking about this in the world. It's something that is on the way, it's developing. Nobody knows exactly what is going to move where. And I think you are going to have visits from very important countries and even heads of state in an important number. So I think it's a success for India. In the case of Argentina, we are going to host some delegates from some provinces or states, as we call in Argentina, and we are glad to have this opportunity.
AI is something that Ireland and India both have been very interested in. How do you see this AI summit bolstering further partnership between India and Ireland?
Well, it's on the back of the free trade agreement with the European Union. So we really see ambition on growing that between our two countries. Ireland is a country that has a lot of tech, huge ambition around embedding more digital infrastructure into our country. And as Minister with responsibility for public services, we're looking at how we can marry what's happening in the private sector with really embracing AI in terms of the better delivery of public services. We know the huge ecosystem of tech that exists in India, and it's wonderful to see the AI summit here this week on how, better public-private partnerships and also embedding AI's use for good. And I think the all-inclusive nature and the thematic focus of that here in Delhi is really positive on how we can shape it for better services and outcomes for people in the future.
That was us packing in everything that you should know about the AI India Summit 2026 happening here at the Bharat Mandapam. Time to take a very short break on the broadcast. Stay on with us.